briefly. Everybody, this is Mike. So the eruption on the Lower East Rift Zone continues. The fountains at Fissure 8 are feeding channelized lava flows that travel about 14 kilometers or 8.5 miles to the ocean at Kapoho. There are no overflows along the channel threatening any nearby communities at this time. The lava delta at Kapoho is greater than 500 acres in size right now, and it is expanding slightly on both the north and the south sides. It is spreading within the beach lots and vacation land subdivisions. Some preliminary sonar data from last Wednesday suggests that several flow lobes extending under the ocean have advanced to depths of about 100 meters below sea level at a minimum, possibly deeper, and within 400 meters of the delta edge. 400 meters is about a quarter mile. Fissure number 22 is spattering to about 50 to 80 meters in height above the cone, and is feeding a sluggish flow within a few hundred meters of the vent. At the summit of the volcano, a collapsed explosion event occurred at 1:24 this morning. It produced a plume to about 1,200 feet above ground level. The energy equivalent of this collapsed explosion was equal to about a 5.3 magnitude earthquake. Subsidence on the caldera floor also continues at this time. That's it for the update. I'm going to pass it back to Leslie right now.
To those of you who are on the line, this is Brian Shiro. He is a seismologist with the USGS Hawaii Volcanoes Observatory. And the reason that he has joined us today is if you read the media advisory that you all received today, there was a link to a video from yesterday. We happened to catch on video one of our collapse explosion events at Halima'uma'u. And it's pretty obvious when the quake starts and the plants start shaking. So Brian, did you want to say anything about that, or just if people have questions about that video?
Hi, thank you. This is Brian Shiro from USGS. I just wanted to say that I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about seismicity at the summit, which is at very high levels, as you know. And you already heard the summary of the Type A from Mike a minute ago. And as you just heard, there's a video showing what the recent collapse explosion events look like at the summit as well. And happy to answer questions about that. I'll just leave it at that right now.
Thank you very much, Brian. Our next speaker will be Jessica Farrakane, Public Affairs Officer at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park.
Nobody actually here today to do the call, so they asked us to call in. Yeah, I know.
Sounds like somebody needs to mute their phone, but not me this time. Hi, everybody. It's Jessica. Thank you. I wanted to let you go. I won't be working July 5th. I guess I'm the only one on the line who's taking the day off, so there will not be a park representation on Thursday's call. I apologize for that in advance. Pretty much status quo. Today is day 53 of the park closure. I'll be sending out a news release today on the park events happening this week at our Kahuku unit and other locations where our park rangers are. And again, if you're not getting my news releases, please let me know. I will add you to my media distribution list. Park rangers will be marching in the 4th of July parade at 9 a.m. in Volcano Village on the 4th of July. So if you're up there covering that, please say hi. And I have heard from a few of you. Yes, we did have our first press conference last week inside the park. Mahalo to all of you who attended and did a phenomenal job of capturing the situation in your stories, your photos, your videos, etc. To the rest of you who could not come, we had to keep the group small and focused, and we chose to focus on local outlets with broad reach to get the news out. I was required by my staff to keep this at 10 to 12 people maximum. And that is in the hopes that I will be able to host another press conference in the near future in the closed area. And we'll try to include outlets at that time who weren't able to make it this go around. So if you weren't on that list, I apologize, but it was a very well planned out event. The Volcano Village meeting also that evening, last Thursday, went very well, and thanks to you all who covered that. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Jessica. I can add to that because she mentioned the 4th of July parade. The Volcano Village is having a community event on the 4th in the morning at the Cooper Center, in addition to the parade. And there will be an information table with the USGS Hawaiian Volcano Observatory folks staffing it for information. So come by and say hi, as Jessica says. Let me introduce our 4th speaker of today. Robert Ballard is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Robert, what can you tell us about how the weather is going to affect what the volcano is doing, or vice versa?
Well, aloha, everyone. Thanks for that introduction. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I come back off vacation, and we're getting some pretty amazing things happening over Fissure 8 and the Lava River, where we have a weather situation in place that's already favorable for showers to develop with the trades that have weakened. That's allowing updrafts to billow higher. But with an upper low to the north of the islands and the excess heat from the volcano itself, we're actually getting a series of thunderstorms which have formed over Lower Puna. Started about 7:40 this morning, and it's still continuing as we speak right now, with quite a few lightning strikes occurring in these thunderstorms over that are repeatedly forming over the same area near Leilani Estates and across Lower Puna. Some of them have been rather intense, in fact. So the type of cloud that you get, and we see this quite often in the western United States and in the plains, where strong wildfires can create enough instability of their own to cause what we call pyrocumulus or pyrocumulonimbus. And let me know if anyone needs me to spell that. But you get those types of clouds which can produce thunder and lightning and localized heavy rain over a small area. And we think that as the upper low moves away and the trades begin to build back in tonight and through the remainder of the week, that it's going to get less likely that we're going to see thunder and lightning coming out of these pyrocumulonimbus clouds that are forming over the fissures. So it should get a little bit more stable. We'll continue to have some enhancement from any showers that move through the area. Will get a little added boost from that extra heat at the surface going into them, but maybe not quite as dramatic as what we're seeing today. Another thing that USGS sent a video a little while ago of a whirlwind. It's pretty dramatic. That's throwing lava debris, I guess they said tens of meters. And these whirlwinds, anytime you have a strong updraft, and again, this is something that we see quite often in wildfires out west. When you have a strong updraft like that, it can create little whirlwinds. The air is moving up so rapidly that it's pulling surface air in from different directions around the heat source or around the fire, or in this case, around the lava. And as that air comes into that heat source, it likes to spin. It doesn't just come directly in. It comes in at an angle and it begins to spin. And you can get these localized, brief, strong whirlwinds that happen. They're not really tornadoes or maybe an extremely weak type of tornado, but they're still quite dramatic. And we've seen this in both the plume over Fissure 8, as well as in the Lays plume, when there's a really vigorous Lays plume and the trade winds are weak and the clouds can billow up very vertically, you can get a series of weak water spouts or weak whirlwinds at the base of the Lays plume. So it's all pretty interesting. It's really neat and fascinating for us to watch, and we're learning a lot each day, seeing how the volcano is actually impacting the local weather over the eastern part of the Big Island there. I think that's about all I have.
Robert, thank you very much. I'm glad you mentioned the video. I'd forgotten to mention it myself. I should also say, Robert mentioned that sometimes a tornado or a whirlwind can pick up water like a water spout. Well, in fact, in the video, you can see these little whirlwinds picking up little blobs of molten lava and flinging it away. So it's kind of a really interesting video to watch.
All right, we'd like to open the lines for any questions. If anyone does have a question, please hit *1 and record your name when prompted. And we do have our first question from Mr. Michael Phillips from Weatherboy. Your line is open.
Hi, my question, I guess, would be best suited for Bob at the National Weather Service. Beyond the lightning and the thunderstorm over the fissure, there's also reports of lightning in the Lays plume. And Hilo DCO said that they get lightning reports in the Lays plume when there tends to be an east wind. And so a question is, could you describe the processes that would develop lightning there? And is lightning there just as dangerous as lightning anywhere else? And are the lava boat tours that are in that area, are they at risk of those lightning, or is that pretty much contained in the Lays plume?
You know, that's a really good question, and I want to. I'll preface my response with a hint of a disclaimer that although I have seen some of that video of lightning in the Lays plume, I just want to make sure that it's well understood that I'm definitely not an expert in that phenomena itself. Now, everything I've seen and all the videos I've seen of lightning in the Lays plume in this event and in past events does not, and perhaps one of the reporters or someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I have never seen an external strike. So my understanding is that these are static discharges or very weak type of lightning that forms in the Lays plume. Again, with that a lot of moisture and a lot of billowing motion going on, you can get that charge separation. You know, like on the mainland during the winter when you scuff your feet on the carpet and touch a doorknob, you get shocked. Well, it's the same type of principle here. And again, just want to be careful that I'm not speaking definitively on this, but again, I haven't seen any external like cloud to water lightning or anything that's occurring outside the cloud in the Lays plume. So to be honest, I'm not real sure on that, but my guess is that it's too weak to actually strike anything outside the plume. But if anybody has a video or they've seen otherwise, please let us know.
Great, thank you.
Hopefully did that answer your question, Michael?
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Next, we have Sherry Bracken from Mahalo Broadcasting. Your line is open.
Hi there. First of all, thank you to Bob Ballard for the explanation of the whirlwind video and this recent discussion. Really super interesting. USGS posted another video of the lava boats, as you call them, coming down the lava river. Could you just talk a little more about why they form, whether they could jump out of the channel, just any implications about those big giant lava blocks that you're calling lava boats coming down the lava river, please?
Hi, Sherry. This is Mike. I can answer that one. We haven't actually seen the initial formation of one of those lava boats, but it is believed that it's parts of either the cone at Fissure 8 itself or just pieces of the levees along the channel that have broken off and have started to raft their way down the river. It's not necessarily believed that they're floating their way down the river. They're moving slower usually than the rest of the channel, so they may be dragging along the bottom as they travel down the channel. And they do present a risk because if the flow of the channel jams them against the side and it contacts the levees, that disrupts the flow of the channel. It could divert either the boat itself or the lava going around the boat out of the channel. So those do present an even greater hazard than the flowing lava in the channel itself does. Hopefully that answers your question a little bit.
Yeah, kind of fascinating. You didn't mention, by the way, how tall is the Fissure 8? You just mentioned that it has a big lava beat. Didn't say how high it's down these days.
It is approximately 50 meters in height at this time, yes.
8 feet or something?
I don't have the feet conversion, I'm sorry.
Okay,
approximately 50 meters, yeah.
But it's lower than the cone or higher than the cone?
I was speaking about the cone itself. The fountains very rarely break over the top of the cone at this time. They may be reaching about 55 meters in height at their maximum. But I was out there on Saturday, and we really only witnessed them reach the top of the cone every minute or so. So they're very infrequently reaching the height of the cone at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have John Burnett from the Hawaii Tribune Herald. Your line is open.
Yes, and my question is for Mr. Ballard. And forgive me if I missed this in your presentation earlier. How long are the thunderstorms over the lava area expected to last to?
Once the upper low to the north of the islands moves away and the trades start to push back in, which we think is probably going to happen by tonight, we'll see things start to settle down. So we've had thunderstorms pretty continuously over that area since 7:40, but I think that we're going to see a diminishing trend later today into tonight, and that things will kind of return to back where they were normally, where we're still getting some enhancement. I mean, you're adding so much heat and instability that even when the trades are blowing, you're getting some heavier showers that are developing as they move over the fissure region, and that's probably going to continue as long as the fissures stay active. But the actual thunderstorms should settle down, I would think, by tonight. Now, one thing I would mention, and I meant to mention this during the presentation, so thanks for asking, is that as long as this goes on, any future weather systems that we have coming in are probably going to help to enhance the precipitation and the activity over that area for as long as this goes on. So every time we lose the trades, or we get a good moisture surge, or we have a cold upper low build in, we're going to be more likely to see thunderstorms in that area again for as long as this goes on. So something that's pretty fascinating to us, and I think we're a little surprised at just how much enhancement that we're getting. But sure enough, it's there today for sure.
Is this acid rain you're talking about?
Well, we're not an expert in precipitation chemistry here as far as that goes. I would think that you're adding SO2 as or sulfur dioxide as aerosols for precip formation. So my guess would be yes, that the precipitation in that area is going to be more acidic. But again, we're not atmospheric chemistry experts here at the National Weather Service, and it's a little peripheral to what we do. So I want to be careful about speaking too definitively on that. There may be others that know a little bit more about that, especially in regards to volcanic effects. But my understanding is that the downwind precipitation has been observed to be more acidic.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, if there are any questions, please hit star 1. Our next question is from Kate Brooks from the Ka'u Calendar. Your line is open.
Yes, hi. Sorry about that. I'm not sure who to direct this question to, but apparently Highway 130 is being reopened as of tomorrow. And I was wondering if anyone could speak to if anything was, any information was given for that reopening in terms of the tracks that were on Highway 130, the heat that had been coming out of them, the gas, etc.
Hi, this is Mike. I can answer that one. We've been continuously monitoring the Highway 130 area. Since the beginning of the eruption, we've been checking if there was any SO2 being emitted from those cracks. We've been checking the temperatures around there. No real change has been observed in several weeks. And we've been relaying that information to the county, who, based on our information, made that decision to reopen tomorrow to all public traffic.